Hello everybody, we're going to have a look at two eclipses. We've got an eclipse coming up on the 5th of January, and that's a solar eclipse, and then on the 21st of January we've got a lunar eclipse. So I did just before Christmas a video called The Kiss of Judas, which we had on the 22nd of December, and as you can go back and see that video, but I explained that that would be very much a preparation of everything that's about to come into swing. I also explained a little bit where we are in preparation before 2020, and we are in a process of giving birth. We're giving birth to a whole new age. And it's very much happening at the moment. So on top of all this, we've got these two eclipses, and I thought we'd have a look. I'll take you to have a look on Stellarium first. So it's very difficult to find the exact times between Vedic, sidereal. Tropical astrology has got this all going on in Capricorn, but as you can see, the sun is still in Sagittarius. And now what's important to know is that Saturn moved here last year on the winter solstice, and Saturn is going to be here until the winter solstice of 2020, when it moves into Capricorn. So all this period is very important for the Michael Jacksons, those that rule the mutable cross. So Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Jupiter rules Pisces. Both the top of the mutable cross, Pisces is opposite Virgo and Sagittarius is opposite Gemini. Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. So this is the Michael Jackson cross. And mutable signs are all binary. They're the adapters, they're the mixers and the shakers, and they are preparing to hijack the twin peak age that we're coming into in 2020, which I've already spoken about. So Saturn has been here since last winter solstice, and here's Saturn. Where's Saturn here? No, he's right here. This is the big thing. He's conjunct to the Sun. So Saturn is here for 3 years, and he joins Pluto, who's somewhere over here. I can find him, otherwise I have to go and find him. Yeah, so Pluto's right here. So we've got a conjunction of all these planets together. We've got the Sun, we've got Saturn, and we've got Pluto. So Saturn has been here for a year, but he's now moving into close contact with Pluto, and the Sun is right between them. And this is exactly where Ketu and Rahu, so South and North Node. So South Node is around here, and North Node is opposite, and this is what makes an eclipse. Otherwise we would have an eclipse every new moon. So this is going to be a new moon. That means a black moon. Here's the moon. The moon is almost completely black because it's next to the Sun. Take it, there we go, black moon. Okay, and this is all happening. I'll show you afterwards on the chart, but this is now actually, yes, this is where it gets confusing, sorry. Rahu and Ketu are actually just touching still Capricorn. Rahu and Ketu, North and South Node, are the hypothetical placements of the crossover point of the two paths that the Sun and the Moon make. and they are responsible always for the eclipses. If you want to find out more about that, this is a good, a plain truth, runs down what a real eclipse is, and this knowledge is taken from Santos Bonacci. I'll read it a little bit. Solar eclipses are not caused by the moon. According to Vedic astronomy, the most ancient and accurate system of astronomy on the planet, solar eclipses are not caused by the moon coming in front of the sun, as astronomers believe. Rather, the moon is described as being further away than the sun, and what happens at the time of a solar eclipse is the moon goes behind the sun, and a dark planet called Rahu comes between the sun and the earth. So you can go and read that to have a better idea. A plain truth, you just tap Rahu and Ketu, or go straight to Santos Bonacci, or just look into that wherever you want to. So in fact, Rahu and Ketu, here we go. So Rahu and Ketu are still in Cancer and Capricorn. They spend 18 months in each sign, and they're always opposite each other, and they always travel in the opposite direction to the planets. And it's only when there's a black moon or an opposition between a full moon, an opposition between the moon and the sun, when they're in contact with Rahu and Ketu, do we have eclipses. So we're now the 3rd, they're still in Cancer and Capricorn, and we are going to have that first solar eclipse on the 5th. And then we're going to have another one on the 21st of January. They don't have this here, but we can see that they're about to move into Gemini and Sagittarius, which is the mutable cross. And this is going to be major big brownie points, because they're going to stay there until the Virgo Virgin 23rd of September solstice, which is a very marking point. This 23rd coming 2019, we've got G-sets, G7 being held in Biarritz, which is the 64th department. It's where the Virgin Virgo stands on the rocks, because it's the end of the age of Pisces. The end of the Holy Grail ends on the Atlantic Ocean in Biarritz. I've explained many times. That represents the four corners taken over, and it's that's why the Beatles sang "When I'm 64." That's why Microsoft 7 has 32 megabytes, and then 64 megabytes. So you can also, so this is very big, that Rahu and Ketu are going to be leaving Cancer, destruction, Capricorn, creation. This is where we're heading in 2020, Capricorn. So this transition into Gemini Sagittarius, which is ruled by Michael Jackson, this is where the eclipse, the second eclipse, is going to be happening before moving into Gemini and Sagittarius. So Rahu is still just touching here, so the eclipse is going to be happening more just over here, but it's, maybe we can go back and see, because that means it's just impossible to get correct. Let's get Sun is still in Sagittarius here. So it's going to hit Capricorn for the second eclipse on the 21st. Okay, so this is going to be, this is a partial solar eclipse. Okay, now what's very important to know is that at the same time, Pluto and Saturn are going to be conjunct. So Pluto has been here for, he's ending 20 years. He's got another 2 years to go, another 4 years before he hits Capricorn. And Saturn will be leaving Sagittarius to be here in Capricorn for the big 2020 conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. So this is all Sagittarius energy preparation. Sagittarius represents everything to do with foreigners. Sagittarius is the everything to do with philosophy, ideology, religion, and because Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces, this is all about belief programs, because Jupiter is all about expansion, and it's all about that Peter Pan energy, wanting to live forever. It's the energy of the philosophers that rule this world. And these are the sultans of swing, because the sultans always ride on horses. They conquer on horseback. This is very much why on the front of Paris Match we had Mohammed, the Black Prince. So this is going to be very much questions of immigration, more of ex-Brexit. This is all our ideologies breaking down. So we've had 20 years of Pluto going over our unconscious. This is all our Pluto is always the unconscious. So all our deep programmed religious beliefs. And when Saturn is conjunct, so Saturn is constriction, he is the opposite of this expansion that Jupiter rules. We're in Jupiter's home here. Saturn is in Jupiter's home. Saturn will be home. He rules the twin peaks here, Capricorn and Aquarius. So this is all very important brownie points, eclipse for the Sagittarius gang, because Jupiter is going to be conjunct, Saturn is going to be conjunct to the Sun, and Ketu is right here, and Pluto. So, you know, a conjunction of Pluto and Saturn is a norm. Is enormous. Alchemists said that this is our opportunity to turn lead from gold, which would make sense, because this is the birthing process. This is when we either escape the wheel, we escape the Greek tragedy that we've been living, or we are completely fallen for it. And this is really the takeover of this is the, you know, the whole new world order coming in. So this eclipse is very important, especially between what happened on the 22nd and the big date of the 14th of February, when Mars and Uranus will be conjunct. Mars is currently in Pisces, but on the 14th of February, Uranus, that's ending 7 years in Pisces, will be entering Aries, and they will be conjunct, which I explained in the last video, which is very, very violent, especially in Aries, war, fire sign. So this is all going to be working on the Sagittarius is the fire cross. It's a fire sign. So this is all preparation for the 14th of February. And, you know, the last time that there was a conjunction in Sagittarius of, or just, you know, this conjunction of Saturn and Pluto, which will last for about 20 months, was just before the Second World War. So we really are climbing up into these tense times, and this eclipse says a lot about that. So let's have a look here. Now this isn't completely correct, because, well, it's not at all correct. This is why it's so annoying. I still haven't found charts that are going to be able to help me work. There must be somebody out there that's got the equivalent to Stellarium. So this North and South node, this North node, is actually still here in Gemini, and it's opposing, it's not, you see, it's not really correct, it's here, and it's opposing Ketu, and that will be happening right in between Saturn, this conjunction of Saturn and the Sun, all in Sagittarius. Incredibly powerful, this conjunction that will last for 20 months between Pluto and Saturn. And this, you know, it speaks a little bit about the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is and it's all the Sultan of Swing energy in the third house of the Egyptians. This is the third house, is the Gemini energy. This is the age of Egypt. This is the Michael Jackson gang. The third and ninth house is normally the home, and we actually have it inversed here because Sagittarius is ruling the third house and Gemini is ruling the ninth house. Normally Gemini rules the third, Sagittarius rules the ninth. So this is big Michael Jackson, an eclipse, which is, you know, everything that they're going to be working on to try and hijack the coming peak of this birthing process that will end in 2024. Because of the cycle of eclipses that happened from 2017 to 2024, these are just carrying on eclipses which are very important in this movement, this birthing process that we're going through. So the third house is all about communication, media, neighboring countries. It's all about our direct social contacts. It's everything to do with internet. And the ninth house is all about other countries and this philosophy, religion, expansion, the Jupiter energy. And we've got Rahu in Gemini. So this is going to be some kind of more and more, you know, warming up for Brexit and the immigration that's going to come down. And because we saw the Black Prince on the front of Paris Match, you know, what does this mean? So big square going on with Mars still in Pisces. So this is going to be preparation of Mars getting ready to move into Aries, which will all be happening in the house of judgment, the seventh house. This is normally Alpha Omega. These guys are reversed too. The whole chart's reversed. Normally Aries begins the wheel and Libra's here. So everybody's kind of setting off in the opposite place. It's very upside down. There's this big, beautiful trine, which will be actually working. Yeah, it's all off. It's all slightly off. That's why it's so confusing to work with. There'll still be a trine, but this, these two are. Now let's have a look at Jupiter and Jupiter. We know Jupiter's still in Scorpio, so then, and let's have a look, see where they are on the horizon. Oh, what's the horizon here? Got Libra. No, so it's just Libra underneath Virgo. And yep, so these guys, they're all under the horizon. We've got a big trine between Venus and Mars, and this is all you know, it's all off, but there will still be this trine getting ready to hit on the 21st. The North and South Node will move into Cancer and Capricorn. A lovely trine between Venus and Mars. Second house is all about our values, money, our possessions. Fifth house is confusion. It's the energy of, this is the Leo gates that will be taking us afterwards into Aquarius opposite, so that's happening in the fifth house. Uranus is all about changes, mass electric shocks, and we're going to be seeing that will be happening on the 14th of February when Mars is conjunct to Uranus. But Uranus is making there could be a lot of noise, a lot of media going on because he's making this big trine with the emotions and Mercury. So this eclipse is happening between this conjunction of Saturn and Pluto, which can be as massively destructive as it can be creative. This is going to be good for, and there's also this lovely sextile with Neptune still in Aquarius. But Aquarius is that humanitarian. This is all going to be bringing brownie points because Neptune is the imagination, it's illusion, deception. So all those of us who can see through what's really happening, we will be very powerful in our unconscious collective, what we do. We're working from the inside out, trying to telepathically blow people awake. We're working underground, so for us this is very good because we can work against this energy. But those people who are still not able to see that the sultans of swing are moving in and that they always run the joint and that they are trying to bring in their Jupiterian energy for the birth into this new age, they will still be under the deception in a big way. Okay, there's also, so yeah, it's a great time, but I have a book here, but it's in French. I'll try and translate it. It's talking about this Saturn-Pluto conjunction. It says, la fusion de l'esprit rationnel et des forces instinctives de l'individu peut avoir des effets créatifs et remarquables ou destructeurs et spectaculaires. So it can either be an incredible rational spirit of your instinctive forces, very creative, remarkably creative, or remarkably destructive and spectacular. There's no middle way between this aspect. He says the alchemists of the Middle Ages confirmed that this conjunction was when we could turn lead to gold. So this is really, for those of us who are ready, this is your time to not be trapped from 2024 onwards. I mean, all we have to do is unplug from the drama, the cinema, and wait for our fellow men one by one to join us. This is the time. Now it also says here that the last time this happened was just before the Second World War. So this very much is preparations for these last steps of bringing us into the New World Order. Yeah. Okay, let's move to the next. And it's also got the 21st of January at 6:16. And just look at this. This is not quite going to be this Rahu Ketu is just Yes, maybe it's me who's got it wrong. Maybe because I looked on Vedic. It says sidereal system. So I have to check, but if it's going into Sagittarius and Gemini, we just have to, and it happens on, so it would be, it's just on that borderline. So even if this is not quite correct, because they won't have, it's still on the last degree, of the Cancer and the Capricorn, so it's absolutely, or the last degree of Gemini and Sagittarius. So it will be, it's Sagittarius here, Gemini here. So in fact, Rahu is just about here. Anyway, that's very confusing, I know, but let's go have a look at this here. So this is the 5th, and now look at this little dance as I move along. So this is, and Pluto, let's have a look at Pluto, because Pluto, so I'm going to be conjunct with the Sun on the 10th. Okay, on the 21st, and the time of the 21st is 6:16. Okay. So this time we've got a lunar eclipse. So it's a full moon. So the 5th was a black moon. So I mean, that just adds to that black magic power. This is all Sultans of Swing, gypsy stuff going on. Okay, let's have a look at it here. So Mercury is not in Capricorn, it's just still in Sagittarius. So we've still got this conjunction of Pluto and Saturn in the 1st house. This is our unconscious realm. It's how we react. It's and on, looking at world events, this is very much our ego. The house is under the energy of Scorpio. We've got a conjunction between Venus and Jupiter in Scorpio, so that's more of this kiss of Judas. Last time it was as Mercury, but this is really touching our heart. I mean, this could be much more of the kiss of Judas than Mercury. This is really touching our hearts now, and it's in that 12th house of deception, illusion, and Scorpio and Sagittarius very much talk of the sultans, the Middle East countries coming into contact with this full moon lunar eclipse, which is the energy of the Christianity, Saturn, Capricorn opposite Cancer. Cancer represents the people. When we're looking at a chart for, what's happening to the country, not so much a personal chart, this represents the people, and there is this massive square to Uranus that's just hits Aries. Well, it might actually still be. It might still be going. Let's just check, because it's been going retrograde from Aries So it's still in Pisces, but it's been going retrograde from, and Uranus is getting ready to go into Aries. Let's see when it goes into Aries. Yeah, it will be there for, it goes absolutely ready for Deadly Valentine, 14th of February. See, this is the big conjunction between Mars and Uranus. And the moon will be there too. Okay, let's go back. So Uranus will still be in Pisces. Uranus will still be in Pisces, and so it will have ended its 7 years in Pisces, all about illusion, deceptions. I believe, we've all been, it's been a very essential last 7 years in leading us to this point. Many of us got out of all the tricks and traps of New Age and all the different things that have been thrown at us in the truth movement. But now Uranus is getting ready to hit Aries, where it will be conjunct. Mars will join Uranus here. So at the time of this lunar full moon opposition eclipse, there is a massive square, T-square, going on between the people, the moon and Rahu, and Uranus, which is, sudden shocks, changes. This is all about our home. The moon rules Cancer, and it's in Cancer, and normally this 4th house is the home of the Cancer energy, and it's now under Pisces, so Scorpio's in the 12th, which is normally Pisces. Uranus is in the 4th, which is normally Cancer, and the moon is in just hitting the 8th house, which is normally Scorpio. So this is very much the water bodies. I hope there won't be floods. This is, big shock to our, this is, unconscious shocks. This is a real meeting. This could be some big Brexit news. Or, this eclipses mean the next 6 months' energy. So this is very much setting off, whereas a full moon works over a month, an eclipse, the ripples of an eclipse will move over the next 6 months. So the next 6 months will be very much under this energy, and this energy is talking about unconscious reactions. We've got Mercury, Pluto, so that's all media. Pluto and Saturn conjunct, that's our unconscious and our deepest intentions. It's, what we really stand for all comes from Saturn, and this is all that time, alchemical time, of turning lead to gold before we peak in 2020 and before we give birth in 2024. Okay, in the 3rd house, this opposition between the 1st and the 7th house. You see, this is Alpha Omega as well. The 1st house is normally the home of Aries. The 7th house is normally the home of Libra. So this is very much an Alpha Omega, Aleph Tav, beginning, end, utopia, dystopia, lineal thinking. We need to escape that lineal thinking. It doesn't exist. Okay, so this is all, I think, preparation to the next 7 years, which, and to the carrying on of the yellow coats. There's so much going on. Venus, this really could be betrayal. People are really going to start waking up. There's a big square to Neptune in Aquarius, to this 12th house energy of our unconscious realm. Both this is the ethereal realm. This is the realm of when we leave the material realm. But it's very much the I believe. It's very much the illusion, And this is where the betrayal, the kiss is happening. There's also 2 in conjunct. I mean, that is just so powerful, between Jupiter and the Moon, and the Moon and Neptune. So this is full brownie points for keeping people in a complete illusion. And also people can start to get afraid, you know, when Scorpio's touching our, this is faraway lands, Scorpio. This is really us taking on the knowledge now that there's nothing we can do. The 4 corners being closed, and we're coming up close to the end of the female, the womb, the Virgo, Pisces, the Virgin Virgo. Sorry, it's a bit late here, and I didn't plan to do this. I just saw all this and thought I have to say something. There's also this Uranus. And yeah, it's just so, 2 very big eclipses. So we've got on the 5th, solar, partial solar eclipse, because Rahu isn't quite opposite, but this is so powerful to have the coming together of Pluto and Saturn, because Pluto's been in Sagittarius for 20 years, and this is really when Saturn is conjunct for the next 20 months. This is really time to get rid of all those old belief programs. It's really happening now, before we go on to the Cardinal Cross, when Saturn and Jupiter meet in Capricorn over here in 2020. Jupiter will move through Scorpio, and next year it will be going through Sagittarius. Saturn will remain here, and then they'll both meet here. So these eclipses are all preparation. You know, you have a really big opportunity at the moment to radically change your thinking, with Uranus making the big trine to Mercury. I'm sure I'll be seeing a lot more things on all this, but this is all to do with this Black Prince. You know, Mohammed, there's something going on. What's going to happen with Macaron? What's going to happen with the Morocco Pact? Is there going to be some kind of bonding with Macaron and Turkey? Maybe Turkey will be one of the only people to agree to the Morocco Pact, and then we're going to start having the immigration, which will begin to be a real people's revolution, with the yellow coats spreading across Europe. Okay, I think I'm going to leave you with that. There's information there. This is this guy. He's talking from an Indian perspective. The year would have its clear watershed moments as per 2019 predictions. The New World Order is ready to set in as the Brexit rollout finally takes shape, with the actual exit of the Great Britain from the European Union in the new year. Yeah, I think this is what Trump and Macron. You see, I think that in France we're going to definitely see the comeback of Marine Le Pen, the Beatles, the Yellow Submarine, Marine Le Pen, and Le Pen also means death penalty in French, peine de mort. So there needs to be enough chaos to justify and bring in these very Sultan of Swing new rules that are going to be part of the tyranny and austerity that they want to bring in for 2020. Yeah, there's a lot more I could say, but I think that that's enough for now. And I think in the middle I've got the 14th of February, yes. So you see the 14th of February, we've got this conjunction of Mars and Uranus. So all this preparation between the two eclipses, you know, he's leaving, Mars is leaving, Uranus is leaving Pisces. He's been here for 7 years, so people are going to be, it's like you wake up, you come out of the fog when you come out of Pisces, and you have to suddenly focus on reality, and egos can get really flared up because this box here is that energy of Aries, the unconscious, how we react, how we behave unconsciously. And so this can kind of trigger that clockwork orange energy, which they want so much, the Mary pop-ins. You know, Mary being the end of the Virgin Mary, the pop. And a lot of black magic to go with it. And this betrayal kiss, you know, happening here, which is going to be the next energy of the next 6 months. Okay, I leave you with that for now. All my love. Bye.